Topic for my presentation is associative networks and frames. Hello. Anjumol Unni. 18 p.m. C 215. Contents are knowledge representation, associative networks. It includes nodes and arcs, non-binary relations, inheritance, advantages and disadvantages. Conceptual graphs. Frames. Includes features, inheritance, benefits and drawbacks. Knowledge representation as a medium for human expression. An intelligent system must have KRS that can be interpreted by humans. We need to be able to encode information in the knowledge base without significant effort. We need to be able to understand what a system knows and how it draws its conclusions. Knowledge representation. Logic, prepositional, predicate. Network representation. Semantic nets. Structured representation. Frames. Issues in KR. Hierarchies, inheritance, exceptions. Advantages and disadvantages. Associative networks or semantic networks. First introduced by Quillian back in the late 60s. Semantic network is simple representation scheme which uses a graph of labeled nodes and labeled directed arcs to encode knowledge. Nodes, objects, concepts, events. Arcs, relationships between nodes. Graphical depiction associated with semantic networks is a big reason for their popularity. Nodes and arcs. Arcs define binary relations which hold between objects denoted by the nodes. Here is an example using nodes and arcs. The relationship mother holds between John and Sue. Relationship age between John and 5. Relationship wife between Sue and Max. Relationship age between Max and 34. Non-binary relations. We can represent the generic give event as a relation involving three things. Here is an example using give. Mary is the recipient, John is the giver and the object is book. These are connected by give. Inheritance. Inheritance is one of the main kind of reasoning done in semantic nets. The as a relation is often used to link a class and its superclass. Some links, for example Haspart, are inherited along as a paths. The semantics of a semantic net can be relatively informal or very formal, often defined at the implementation level. Here is an example depicting inheritance. Multiple inheritance. A node can have any number of superclasses that contain it, enabling a node to inherit properties from multiple parent nodes and their ancestors in the network. It can cause conflicting inheritance. Nixon diamond. Two contradictory inferences from the same data. Advantages of semantic nets. Easy to visualize. Formal definitions of semantic networks have been developed. Related knowledge is easily clustered. Efficient in space requirements. Objects represented only once. Relationships handled by pointers. Disadvantages of semantic nets. Inheritance, particularly from multiple sources and when exceptions in inheritance are wanted, can cause problems. Facts placed inappropriately cause problems. No standards about node and arc values. Conceptual graphs. Conceptual graphs are semantic nets representing the meaning of simple sentences in natural language. Two types of nodes. Concept nodes. There are two types of concepts, individual concepts and generic concepts. Relation nodes, binary relations between concepts. Look at the example which shows a conceptual graph. Frames. Frames, semantic net with properties. A frame represents an entity as a set of slots, attributes, and associated values. A frame can represent a specific entry, or a general concept. Frames are implicitly associated with one another because the value of a slot can be another frame. Three components of a frame. Frame name. Attributes or slots. Values, fillers, list of values, range, string, etc. Features of frame representation. More natural support of values than semantic nets. Each slot has constraints describing legal values that a slot can take. Can be easily implemented using object-oriented programming techniques. Inheritance is easily controlled. Inheritance. Similar to object-oriented programming paradigm. Here is a chart that depicts inheritance. From hotel room, hotel chair, hotel bed, hotel phone are inherited. In turn, hotel bed is inherited by mattress. Benefits of frames. Makes programming easier by grouping related knowledge. Easily understood by non-developers. Expressive power. Easy to set up slots for new properties and relations. Easy to include default information and detect missing values. Drawbacks of frames. No standards or slot filler values. More of a general methodology than a specific representation. Frame for a classroom will be different for a professor and for a maintenance worker. No associated reasoning/inference mechanisms. By this I am concluding my presentation. Thank you.